Well, hello. We are live, and I'm meeting with Michelle today because she's going to be talking about a subject that honestly I could have used this weekend. And so um, we'll wait just a couple minutes before she hops on here, or a couple seconds. Let's see. There we go. All right, here she comes. I'm so pumped for this. Yes. All right. Are we good to go?
I think so. I'm still sitting with my.
Sweet. Oh, you're very quiet on my end.
You not hear me?
I can hear you. It's just very, very quiet. I don't know what's going on.
The phone situation. Oh, I'm a mess. Is this better when it's not on the stand?
No, it's not any better. I don't know if it's on my end or what.
Did you turn up your volume?
On?
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There we go. All right.
Is that better? I'm going to put you back in the stand and tell me if it gets worse. So now you're in the stand and I'm talking. Is the audio?
Yes, it's better. I think I tapped your face and it was better, and I don't know what that made any difference or not. Learning as we go.
I'm still getting situated with my stand, but you can start. We can start. I'm so super excited, and thank you so much, Natalie, for having me, letting me share this info with your people and you, and just thank you. And I'm excited.
I am so excited you're on here, and thank you so much for sharing your expertise. So just to introduce Michelle, she actually interviewed me last week, and I am so excited to introduce her and her subject today. And so she owns her own business, her own fitness business. She is a top 0 Beachbody coach, and she also has a degree in psychology. And so she really knows what she's talking about with this subject today that's talking about switching our mindset on a dime. And so just trying to get that quick mindset shift when you're just kind of in a funk, or like I was this weekend, I was really angry and I really didn't need it to not be. And so, so I'm really excited to hear her tips on this today. So take it away, Michelle.
Thank you, Natalie. You're so awesome. And I give Natalie a shout out, guys. If you didn't see her interview last week, she crushed it. It's timeline. I don't know if you posted it on your timeline as well, but check it out. It is. So you can, you can probably see Natalie's timeline and check it out. She gave us so many tips. I just interviewed her and asked her really, really tough questions, and she hung it.
I loved it.
So yeah, I'm going to be talking with you about how to change our mindsets like that, and kind of the history and kind of a bit of my story. I think I've always suffered. I tell people all the time. So I'm a workout junkie. I'm a coach. But we all have different reasons why we work out and different motivations. I personally need my workout. I swear I think I'd be clinically depressed if it wasn't for my workouts. Hey, Phyllis, how are you? So, and Allie says me too. And so some people, they're always like, oh, you're so motivated. You're so this and that. I'm like, guys, I'm working out for my mental sanity because I have to, better person. I'm very thankful that I found fitness at a young age and God. And so those two things probably are the biggest two. And this is how to change your mindset like this. But I have a whole nother talk, and we can talk about the preventative piece, right? And so working out regularly and nutrition, and then prayer, daily prayer and all those things, that will definitely help keep our mindsets in the right place, right? But I think, so I just said, I think I'd be clinically depressed if it wasn't for a workout. And I'm thankful I found that at a young age. So I think I've always struggled and battled with the mindset and negative self-talk. And so I think I've always been kind of on the search for I'm just to combat that. I know that's not the way God designed us to live, right? And I will out there too, a book, one of my favorite books is Mastering Your Mean Girl by Melissa Ambrose. Mastering Your Mean Girl. And it's a great one for mastering that mindset. But so here I am, done all this research, right? I'm a school psychologist, blah, 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 blah. and I'm still struggling. Like I can recognize that I'm in a funk, that I'm, maybe depressed, or I may be like just irritated and like in life and things are just not going well. And I'm in this funk, and I can recognize that. That's step one, is recognizing it. And I would try all these strategies, and it's like, it doesn't help. It doesn't, or like, oh, I work out right before I have a meeting with a client or something, right? Like, I need it fixed now, right? So, those obviously, yes, go work out, prayer, those things definitely, can help. But I'm going to give you 3 quick tips that you can do to change your mindset and help. It's not, I say like this, but I think it still takes practice, and it takes awareness and recognizing, right? Like I said, first step is to recognize you're in a funk. Some of us, I think, live in a funk, and we got to change that. So be patient with me here. I'm going to do some things that maybe have an open mind, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because this is going to be an interactive, like live together talk. This isn't like me telling you things. You're going to experience it together. So I also have a 500-hour Christ-based yoga certification background. Tony Robbins, I've done probably every single event. So a lot of what I talk about stems from other personal development events and resources that I've used, and then yoga as well. So this first one that we're going to do is something I learned. It wasn't even through my yoga training, actually, but it's definitely keep an open mind. I just want you to try it. There's nothing woo-woo or anything like that going on here. But this is a great one that you can literally do in the car. I've used this one a million times in the car, like just before I'm about to like walk out of my car to go into a meeting or something like that. Like if you get a phone call from someone, usually for me, it's my husband, and you forgot to do something, or you messed up and you just feel like crap, right? And that. So here's what we're gonna do. I want you to get seated in your chair or the floor, it doesn't matter, and really press your feet into the ground. Natalie could probably help better than me because she's the personal trainer. Really ground your sit bones into the chair, feet pressed nice to the floor, abdominals pulled in, chest lifted. So go ahead and shrug those shoulders up, and roll them back towards your back pockets. And so you want your chest lifted, spine lifted, crown of the head lifted towards the ceiling, right? Abdominals engaged. So this is the position that I want you in. You don't have to stay there because first I'm gonna model it for what we're gonna do. The position we're in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take, Natalie, do you know what this is called right here? It's not your earlobe, little ear skin thing, right there.
I have no call.
And I've done this like so many times when I teach it, but you're going to close your hearing off with your thumb. Not yet, but you're going to press your ear. You're going to do it both sides. You're going to take your hands, you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to cover your eyes. So it's dark and you can't hear. Ooh. From there, once we're in this position, I'm going to cue you to, if you can even hear me, you can do this on your own, but I will cue it. Deep inhale. And then on the exhale, you're going to hum as loud as you can. And that vibration, there's nothing like weird, like you go to a yoga class, like prayers and that type of stuff, right? That's not what we're doing, but there is science, real science, God created. That vibration actually calms your nerves. So I want you to, we're going to do 3 rounds of that. Also, anytime I teach, my mantra and everything is Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Like I inhale Father, inhale Son. Like that's the way I cue my breaths and stuff. So this one though, I'm going to cue we're going to do 3 rounds of this. And guys, this is less than a minute. You're going to see. I want you to evaluate how you feel right now. So take note of how you feel. Go ahead. We're going to get grounded and in that seated position, right? So go ahead. Exactly. Natalie's already doing it. So get the bones grounded into the chair, feet pressed into the floor, chest lifted. Go ahead and roll those shoulders up and back. Crown of the head lifted, abdominals pulled in, hands relaxed on your oh no, hands are not relaxed. Go ahead And close your ears off with your thumbs. Close your eyes, cover your eyes, and take a deep inhale. Inhale and hum. Mm. Inhale. Inhale, go ahead and keep your eyes closed, but lower your hands to your thighs. Take another inhale, Father. Son, Holy Spirit. Go and open your eyes. Do you feel any different? So we should be saying in the comments. Tell us if you
Yes.
feel different. Even if you're watching the replay, how do you feel different? Like what's different? Do you feel, tell me how you feel.
Yes, definitely put in the comments those watching. I see that Josh has joined us, and Phyllis, hopefully you're still watching as well. So thanks, guys. And I encourage you guys to try this out because I feel personally, I do feel calmer, and I can see how that would definitely calm me down. Like in this moment this weekend, I was I was angry. I wasn't very happy at all, and it was just like nothing would fix it. But I could see how that would just kind of shut everything off and just kind of focusing on one thing. Hey, Patty, I'm glad you joined us too. But I could see how that could just help me recenter, especially like the inhales and exhales at the end, where it's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, just kind of like centering myself, bringing my focus back to God as well, and then combining the physical aspect as well, just like you said, like it's oh, Phyllis says she was relaxed. Good. Thank you, Phyllis, for giving us your feedback.
Find
And yeah. Hey, Kim. So it's yeah, I would definitely use that for sure because that I don't know, it is calming, and you're right, like the vibration, there is something to that. I always think about like those massage things, sometimes they just vibrate, but that's what sound is too. And so it's like your own little massage gun, except it's internal and it's kind of hitting it from a different way. So that's really cool, really cool.
nailed it. Massage for the inside. Yes, exactly. And you can create obviously like whatever your faith is, but that's my go-to. My Father, Son, my mantra. Like I've been practicing, so I've been a coach 11 years. I've been practicing yoga. It must have been 15 or 16 years.
Wow.
So that's how, so that's just where my mind goes. But you can, like, if you just got in a fight with your husband, like, Jesus, forgive, love, like that's your cueing, like make it fit. And even in your humming, you're focused on like love or forgiveness or whatever it is that you need to do in that moment, to get over, like, get over.
Yeah.
Gratitude, like sometimes it's gratitude. Like I just need to put my big girl pants on, stop pouting, and just be grateful. And that was yesterday. So I shared with Natalie, like yesterday I had one of those, like literally it was, I had double booked 2 appointments
Oh,
at
no. No.
at the same time. My phone, which makes no noises typically, was like ding, 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 like conflict times. I had another like client kind of messaging me at the same time, needing something like kind of emergent. They felt like it was emergency, and I'm like, oh, I gotta fix this for, like you can kind of. And I felt bad because I screwed up. Like I double booked. That was all me, and I'm just kind of like in this funk. And it was also that time of the month yesterday. Like I started to like, okay, and I just had to, and I knew, like I recognized it, and I was trying to be grateful. Like I knew I just needed some gratitude, and it didn't really shift until I literally started laughing at myself. Like, and that's in Tony Robbins one. Like you're sitting there in a funk. The last thing you want to do is laugh, but you have to change. And you're usually sitting like this, or like, you know, you've got to change your posture, because our posture goes along with the way we're feeling. So you got to change your posture. And I forced myself to laugh, because I just had to laugh at myself. Like, instead of getting upset that I screwed up, right? I'm not perfect. I already, and just laugh at myself. Like, literally just started laughing, and started focusing, like forcing myself to focus on all the things I'm grateful for. Confession. I have to do this one with my husband a lot when he's instead of focusing on those things, let me focus on the things that I appreciate, the things that he said today that I love and appreciate. And it's hard when you're in that state, because you don't want to do that. You have to realize it and literally force yourself to go there, to do that, if that makes sense. Another little, I'm going to do 2 more exercises. Another is, let me see if I remember this one right. I want you to look down right now and try to think of some negative things. This isn't normally what I would say, but some negative things about yourself. Okay. Now I want you to try to think of something positive about yourself. Look up. Which one was easier?
Yeah, definitely the negative.
I want you to look up. Think of the negatives. Now think of the positives. Was the positive easier looking up or looking down?
It was, yeah, way easier looking up with the positives.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. It's like when I look down, struggling for 1, and then I'm looking up, I like 3, like rattled off 3. So that's crazy, huh?
It's like, so when we say look up, we mean physically look up. But like when you're in that, this is what we're doing. Like when we're more aggravated, or we're like, I mean, we're all human. We've been there, right?
Yeah.
Physically have to change your state and like look up. And even though I know these things, I told Natalie yesterday, I was like, it's not working. Like, what, like I got it. Like, you have to force to use these, little things. None of them are magic. It's just little. It's filling your toolbox with some additional research, I like to say. So the last I'm going to share, it's another weird one. I'm going to take a sip of water.
I'm taking notes, by the way, so I want to remember these.
You guys are being so patient. You're hanging with me. You have an open mind. I love it. They're trying.
I'm loving this. This is great.
This one is a Tony Robbins. So if you follow Tony Robbins, you probably have done this one before. But it's also very, it is very familiar to me because of my yoga background. Start off in this. I'm going to model it for you, just like we did the last one, right? I'm going to model it for you, kind of talk about it, and then we'll do it together. So this one, I want you in the same posture that you were before. Your feet planted into the floor, your sit bones grounded. So you're in a good posture. You can also do this sitting on the floor, Indian style, but it's Kapalabhati breathing, if you're familiar with that in yoga. Also the fire. And what I'm just going to cover the breath first, and then we're going to do the arms. So the breath, you're going to inhale and then forcefully exhale. And then as you forcefully exhale, your stomach, you're pulling your stomach in each time. You may need a Kleenex. Where's it going with this? Oh, your exhale, don't worry about like inhaling. The inhale will take care of itself. Okay. So you're just going to inhale and just focus on the exhale. The inhale will happen. So that's going to be the breathing. Just, we'll do, eventually you work up to like 2 or 3 sets of 30. We'll start with probably 10 or 15. I can tend to lose count. I'm not the best yoga teacher. What can I say? So So, and then the arms, it's called I call it lymphatic breathing. Is what it is, because it wakes up your lymphatic system. This is a great to do in the morning. This one you may not be able to do. Like, you still may need to have some privacy. It works, okay? So that's your breathing. And then your arms are just, scoot back here. Your arms are gonna come forcefully down with each exhale. So it's gonna look like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Natalie, questions?
I don't think so. I've never done this kind of breathing before. I just recognize the name, so I'm like, oh boy, all right.
Right, like it comes. You know what I mean? The more you do it, it comes. So that is what we're gonna do. So are we ready? Oh, I'm trying to think. I always give people something to focus on, like on your exhale, but it's whatever you need in the moment. You know, we won't talk about mine. So we covered that kind of with the other one. So we're gonna do 2 rounds, maybe 10 to 15. I'll cue you.
Okay. All right.
And it's sit bone seated in the chair. Your chest is lifted. Your abdominals are pulled in. Your crown of your head lifted towards the ceiling. Go ahead and deep inhale. Arms up and exhale. Long inhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Exhale. Arms, eyes. Just kind of evaluate how you feel. Deep inhale. One more inhale. And that one, instead of changing your mindset, I call it more instant energy. How do you feel?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like I'm ready to go, you know. I'm ready for this. So.
Who needs caffeine? Just do this.
Yeah. That definitely gets you like, I'm awake. Where's the fight? You know?
That 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock slump, you know, when you're in the office and you're trying to work on reports or get work done, that's a great one to do in your office. You know, people knew me when I was a school psych. They just knew I was a little, you know, like, I was the school psych, right? So that's the last one. How do you? But you feel you can feel the difference.
After the breath, actually, when after we did it, and then like I did the inhale, that first inhale, I was like, ooh, hey, this is cool. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little natural pick me up. And those are my 3 tips. Which one was your favorite? Put in the comments if you're still watching the replay. The first one was, I call it the buzzing.
The buzzing.
The buzzing. Number 2, what was 2 tip? Because I don't remember. Oh, look up. Number 3 tip, because you know I have all this written down right on my notes. This is my presentation for you guys. Can you see? It's one.
Oh, nice.
Or 3, lymphatic breathing is what I call that one. Ooh, my arms are a little tired. I feel that. And the lymphatic breathing one, that's a good way to wake yourself up too. You could do, I haven't done this in a long time, but I used to do it. Honestly, this is probably TMI, but that's me. I hold nothing back. In the mornings on the toilet right after I use the bathroom. Yep, it gets you going. It's a great one to do in the morning. So lymphatic breathing. So which one was your favorite? Pamela, look up. Awesome, Pamela. Thank you for sticking with us. I know this is a everywhere.
Yeah, I think my favorite was the buzzing. You know, I wrote sensory deprivation with hum is what I wrote down in my notes. But I love that. Use that one a lot.
I've used them all through different seasons of my life. And then, guys, just a reminder, a lot of you already know this. Obviously, you can just go do 10 jumping jacks. You can blare the music and dance around and, you know, go do a workout, all those things. Pamela, you can watch from the beginning. The buzzing was the first one we did. And when you watch it, I'd love to hear, go ahead and comment like what you thought of it. And then if I do have a whole another course with these type of things, I call it Live with More Vitality. And people have told me I needed to change the name of that. And I was clueless why until very recently.
Oh.
Like, I don't know what else to call it. Like, it's vitality, it's energy, it's life. It's like, and I really only share, I think, the lymphatic breathing in that one, because that one's more of a lifestyle, like more of like, let's live with more vitality. So I'll put that in the link here. It'll be opt-in emails that kind of share more about the vitality. You know, it's a course, and it's only charged $27 for, but for you and your people, I took off the price for this. So probably knowing me, because I'm slow at putting things.
And what was, did you say you knocked off the price? I think I made a noise and it made you cut out. But what did you say about knocking off the price?
Knocked off the price. I said it'll probably happen for all of this month because I'm slow to get things back. So even if you're watching the replay, it'll probably still be good.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to be checking into that. So that stuff's going to be really useful.
And a lot of it's just like what we talked about, you know, some of it's common sense stuff that you already know, but some of it's just new things that maybe you haven't tried before. So, yeah.
I was surprised that, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I have a few more minutes. I don't mind sticking around if anybody has questions or.
Yeah. I was surprised at how much energy I felt after that one. That's not what I was expecting at all, because I didn't know what to expect going into it, you know. So that was like an authentic. I was like, oh, hey. But yeah, if anybody has any questions for Michelle about this, please put it in the comments. I see that we have a couple people watching here. Don't be shy. And so,
or anything, I'm an open book. And I just want to give Natalie a huge thank you. And I mean, guys, she had no clue what I was going to, she knew I was going to be talking about this. She had no clue what I was going to do, because I wanted to see her natural reaction. You know what I mean? So for her to try to bring on, you know, I say a random person we've met a few times, you know, like, but for her to trust me enough to come on and speak to her audience about this just speaks volumes. And I appreciate that. And I hope I didn't let people down.
Oh no, you're good. I had no idea what Michelle was going to bring on. She said some of it was odd. I was like, all right, it'll be perfect, because I throw out some odd stuff for my clients, and then so I was like, this is right up her alley.
The oddest, I'm interviewing you. What's the oddest thing that you've thrown out to your clients? Maybe I'll want
to. That would be a good question for them. I know a couple of them are watching right now. So ladies, what is the oddest thing I've had you guys do?
Otter or is otter? Who's the oddest?
Yeah. One thing I've had them do, and we actually talked about it this morning. Are you familiar with like the scorpion move? It's like a mobility kind of move. Yeah. And so I demonstrated that a couple weeks ago, and they just kind of like looked at that, and then looked at each other, and then just looked back at me like, what?
Well, at least is it the sissy squats? Is that what you call them?
Mm-hmm.
At least you didn't do that, guy. Like, scorpion.
Yeah. I wasn't going to throw that at them until I figured out how to do it myself. No, you haven't tried?
No, I haven't. I forgot about it. I need to try that.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's an experience.
Because I could look at it and tell. I was like, whoa, that's intense. Guys, I can say those sissy squats. I can look at it and tell without trying it.
I'm trying to think of I want you to talk a little bit more about the humming, because I think that might be a little odd for some people. And that's something like I'm going. I don't think I've told you this. I'm going through a yoga certification right now too. And
We
so like,
I
what's
love.
that?
We can definitely talk more about that afterwards. I love talking.
Yes. But my instructor was talking about the importance of like the chants, and it's not so much, I mean, the words are important, but it's more about like the vibrations that you're emitting while you're doing the chant and how that can help posture you up a little bit more. And so that's been a really interesting experience, and something I've never really thought about before. But it does, it is like that massage thing where instead of like an external massage thing where it just vibrates, like it is more of like an internal, it just feels different. It's more like, it comes from the core outwards. And so it does affect, how you sit up or what your mind is like. And so that's why I really like the buzzing ones. I'm gonna use that one a lot. But I want to see just like talk a little bit more about like that vibration, because I think that's one of the things where people kind of get like, oh, this is woo woo, this is crazy, but it's not. Like, it is like what you said, it's science, it's how God designed this to be.
So to yoga. I once did 100 videos in 7 days as a challenge to overcome my fear of talking about, being not about being a Christian, but there's so much judgment out there. Like, oh, and I used to, when I first got it, like I said, I've been practicing my certification. I've been certified for 16 years. So obviously I was practicing before that, before there was such controversy, I feel. And I forgot where I was going with this. But when I first started, I used to give talks at churches and stuff about yoga and just awareness, because it is something, like, it's a discernment process, and it's something that you do need to be aware of. You can go to, so I got certified in Alaska. I went into a lot of the yoga studios, and literally they have the elephant in the middle of the room. There was a lot of chanting. They are chanting Hindu prayers. There's a reason for that concern. But at the same time, then you go to my Bible Belt, Louisiana, where I was practicing, and the owner is a strong Christian, and I got certified in Christ-based yoga, and I have an add-on with Holy Yoga training as well. And it's such a meditation, like the whole practice is a meditation on Christ, right? So what your experience is forms your opinion, period.
Yeah.
And, just because I kneel to pick something up, and then I go to church and I may kneel in front of, at church and pray and kneel, it doesn't have meaning. It's the meaning you give it. So chanting, for me, I will say be cautious of it, because a lot of those are Hindu prayers. Like, and I was a 250-hour certification in my training, like certified yoga teacher. And I see this a lot. And it's just, we're not trained enough. We don't know enough. It's that ignorance, like you don't know. And I remember this Christ-based yoga teachers, doing a retreat, and she brought in somebody, and they were playing, she was furious, livid. And I'm like, what's wrong? Why are you so angry? The teacher was playing Chris Machari, the typical, you know what I mean? Your typical yoga music, which is a Hindu prayer. You know what I mean? And like, I love the music. I think it sounds great. Totally unaware of our certification, right? And that, I think, is like, you're just not aware. Now, when I hear it, it's a huge distraction. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Yeah. I didn't know originally. Does that make sense? So with the chanting, it's a long answer, not really what you asked. But with the chanting, I think it's the same thing of being aware of what you're chanting, but then at the same time, being aware of what chanting, like why it's there in that practice. It's even, so I'm Catholic. In the Catholic Church, you chant,
Yeah.
Chant. Why is chanting there? And to answer that question, I usually have them do the buzzing, and then they understand why we chant. Chant there, our Father. You can chant that's another thing that I have my my students discern if they want to or not. That's their decision. But in my classes, I will chant Amen.
Mm.
But the chanting, hopefully, if you go back, watch the beginning, do the buzzing exercise, and that will answer why we chant. But I think you answered it more beautifully in the fact that it's just a massage for the inside, and it calms your body. And really, yoga in itself was to prepare your body for prayer, and that's a part, and you have to prepare your mind for prayer, calm yourself and center yourself. So I don't know. You got me rambling.
No, that was great. I'm glad you made that distinction between like what a Hindu prayer is versus, like being aware of what you are chanting. Because I think that does go a long way. I'm glad you made that distinction because I think that's where a lot of confusion and
a lot of times they don't tell you what you're chanting in a yoga class. Like like when somebody comes to my class, they know it's a Christ-based class and they know who I worship. When you go to the other ones, and it's usually okay for beginner classes. It's more as you get into the more advanced classes, level and stuff like that. But they won't tell you what you're chanting, what you're saying, So it just, and you'll hear the same. Like I know which ones mean just peace and which one's a prayer. That's just been years of, I guess, like, you know what I mean? Like, being in that
environment.
And it's hard for me to find a yoga class, honestly, that I can just totally let go and like really, so I do a lot of my practices at home, but it's so nice to be led through a true Christ-based. So I'm glad you're getting started. When it comes to, I
know, but you're right. It does make a difference, when someone is leading through that last little shavasana at the end, and you can like completely like it is a mind game. I mean, that last pose, like I think it's more of a mind game than anything. It's it's like don't move, and your body's like, and your brain's like, why? But yeah, it is different when someone's leading you through it versus doing it yourself. Because I've done lots of them by myself, and it is not the same. But having that trust with someone that they're not going to lead you astray in the middle of that, it's very helpful, very, very helpful.
Because before I was certified, I would just go and I just naturally would twist things to focus on. I didn't know what they were saying. I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, that doesn't sound quite right, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? As I was even going through my training, I had to compare all the Yoga Sutras to the Bible. And my husband used to say, one of the audios comes from Sound True or something like that. It sounds true, but it isn't.
Yeah.
It sounds good. And that's what evil, it takes truth and it twists it,
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. Like, I actually don't care what religion, it's just more of an awareness. Like, you need to be aware. Like, if you're a Christian, just be aware. If you're a Buddhist, keep going to your Buddhist. And when you come to my class, you have to twist it. Just like I had to twist when before I was certified and I knew what I was going to, I just naturally would twist it. Well, when you come to my class, you're going to have to twist it because I'm what I'm doing, like who I am,
Mm-hmm.
I'm rambling too much. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's good. I'm enjoying this. And I know some of my clients that they were kind of my guinea pigs for some of my certification stuff. So I'm hoping they're enjoying this conversation too. And just kind of seeing the background and, but no, I'm glad we're having this conversation because as you know, a lot of this stuff is becoming more and more popular. And then as far as like the Christian faith goes, it's a journey for everybody. Everybody needs to make, as you said, like that discernment for themselves and, and just have that journey. And, but just giving them the tools and the information is so helpful so they can go to God in prayer about that. It's like, okay, what about this? And what about that? And, as I'm going through the certification, it's been very enlightening me as far as, no pun intended, by the way, but enlightening, but it has been helpful because like what you said, there's some things that are so similar to the Bible, like the yamas and niyamas, which I personally like, What's that?
They're the 10 Commandments almost.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and it's just like I like them. It's just a different way of looking at it, you know, and just as you said at the very beginning of this, like just creating that awareness, you know, just recognizing in the first place. And so those are helpful tools, but then there are other things that are not the same, like you said. It's just like it's just tricky, and so just giving people the tools to kind of figure it out for themselves. And I feel like as a society in general, like we've kind of lost that, and especially in the church. I mean, even within the church, just talking about Christianity, we've kind of lost like this desire to just learn God's word and really know, what does this really say, and what did God really mean by this, instead of kind of taking it at our surface level what we want it to say, you know. So it's been really helpful for me and my faith, just kind of making that discernment. But I'm glad we're talking about this on here because it is so pervasive in our culture now. And just being able to talk about it and start a conversation, I think is just helpful. And just talk about it, not argue about it, but you know, let's discover this with each other, you know.
judgment is what gets me. It's like, I'm not trying to force you to do yoga. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. It's just your journey. And for me, when I went through my yoga season, I like to call it, I was very stagnant in my prayer life. And it was another tool that I used to deepen my prayer life. It was actually in my prayer life. And I've had people, you know, message me saying, I'm going to hell because I do yoga. You know, it's like just that judgment out there. It's like, oh, people,
Yeah.
you know, if you had a very negative experience with it, like, don't do it. That's fine. I mean, I don't judge you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know this was a tool that God used to deepen my relationship with Him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my personal experience. Like,
Yeah, whatever. That's really good. That's really good. Like it does make you more mindful and more aware of, you know, just what your own thoughts are, and then like it does kind of spark that prayer life, because it's a physical practice, but it's so much internal work at the same time, you know. And like I'm very thankful for my instructor. Like she points out the internal all the time. So um what is it? Ardha Chandra, Ardha Chandra,
gosh,
the yeah, that one is so frustrating to me, but it's a balance pose. But like I'm thankful for her, because she'll point it out. Like I'm not saying anything, but she'll just because she's done the work herself, you know, just point out, like, just note how, you know, any frustration that you have towards yourself, you know, just not judge it, just notice it. And so like just noticing, recognizing, like you said at the very beginning, that goes such a long way. And then once you recognize it, then you can tackle it, right? And so just bring it to the light, take it from the dark, bring it to the light, and, you know, let God work with it. And so that's been very, very helpful for me.
well, I'm excited you're going through it. Yay! Kentucky, I know where I get to go.
Yeah, come visit me. I'll come visit you. It'll be great.
I don't know how blessed you are to have Natalie there.
Aww.
Yoga certified as well, and she's just a gem in her knowledge and what she shares and what she has. So your community's lucky to have you, girl.
Well, thank you. Your is lucky to have you. Like, man, like this wealth of knowledge just right here. And like, I'm so glad that you've been on my page just so they can be exposed to you and what you have to offer. So thank you again so much for giving me the opportunity to interview you this time. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, head off, and I'll put the link to the Vitality course down below too.
Yeah, guys.
You have a great day, and I'll sign off. I'll sign off.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye,
Bye.
Natalie. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone that has joined us today. And even if you're watching this later, please put stuff in the comments, because we love to hear other people's experiences. It's good feedback and we learn from each other. So yes, thank you for joining us, Michelle. Thank you so much. And we will talk soon. Let's see if I don't know how to end this.